John, you got time to answer some quick questions for us?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, first of all, what's the difference between a refugee and an asylum seeker?
So an asylum seeker is somebody that has fled and has sought refuge in a country, but they don't have refugee status. They need to be processed to gain refugee status. Refugee status means that you have been processed and have been labeled by the government as somebody in need.
So how big is this crisis? Like around the world, how many people are we actually talking?
The scope of it is sort of incomprehensible, but to give some numbers, there's 65 million people in the world that are displaced, and over 25 million have sought refuge in another country.
All right, so we've done some refugee care before. I remember an initiative called Refugee Collective. Tell me really quick, what did we do before?
So we gathered anybody that was interested in participating. We had 22 families come together to be a part of this, and we helped settle 2 refugee families, one from Colombia, one from Syria together. They pooled the money and we ran the settlement process for them.
Okay, was it successful? Did it work?
It was amazing. It's both families are in stable places. One is working, one is carrying on learning English, and they're doing really well.
Okay, what does it cost to actually bring a family, let's say an average family, 5 people, to Canada?
About $30,000 would be on average is what you would need to do a full private sponsorship.
All right, so the world's refugee crisis is in the news every day. However, the process over the last few years has changed. What's changed?
Well, the major change has been that the demand for sponsorships has grown and it's become more acute. But also the response to it has. And so there's a limited number of spots, and so it's actually harder to gain the spots to sponsor because there's so many people rising up to the challenge.
Okay, so if Riverwood wants to rise up and begin to care for some refugees and bring some refugees to Canada, what is the process and how long does it take?
How much time you got?
Make it quick.
Oh, all right. Okay, let me try and explain how this works. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, but here's another one. If this is so complicated and costly, why would we even want to attempt to be involved in this?
Well, I think the point of this isn't how complicated or costly it is. The point is there's an incredible need, and our faith compels us to go to those areas of need.
All right, so this Christmas we're opening a fund. We're going to start raising money. What's the money going to be used for?
Okay, so let me back off that question quickly and say this is not about up until Christmas. This is not about the next 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 year. This is a long-term play for us. We're making a move now for the next 10 years to say we are going to need funding to do this. But it's a long play. It's a new initiative that we're going to have ongoing to try and meet these needs. So yes, we need money. How much money do we need? It depends on how many families. I can't even answer that question because it depends on the size of the families. But we know we need money. And so to do this ongoing, we're opening a fund for people that want to participate on an ongoing basis.
All right, the news is absolutely full of refugee stories. Aren't refugees dangerous?
I don't like the question because by definition, refugees are people that are fleeing danger, and that's the lens through which I see them.
All right, aside from sponsoring families to come to Canada, how else can we care for and support refugees?
I think the number one thing would be to reach out and to build bridges into refugee communities. Each of them are fleeing trauma. They all need to have time to walk through those experiences, but to have a safe community. And so find shared spaces where you can get to know and reach out and build connections and bridges.
Okay. Finally, aside from policy and process, why are you personally so passionate about the plight of the refugees?
I just feel that all of Scripture compels us to go to the greatest needs, by reaction to what Jesus has done in our lives, we're to reach out into those places. And when the question is posed of who is your neighbor, the answer is anybody that you walk across of and know are in need, by definition is your neighbor. And these are people that we have within our reach, that we have access to, that we even can know through our extended community.
Okay. And thank you so much. Have a fantastic trip to Swaziland. I'll see you there in a week, and we'll
forward to it.
Celebrate 10 years of making a difference there. And God bless.
Amazing.